Today here at our Celebrity Crime Report, Jussie Smollett, the actor from Empire, was sentenced to 150 days in jail and fines and restitution in the amount of $145,000. Hey, I'm Shane Smith from Shanesmithlaw. I'm here today with our Celebrity Crime Report, and we're talking about Jussie Smollett, who is the actor best known for his work in Empire. He just was recently sentenced for the trial that happened back in December. Jussie's career started back in 1991, where he started working in movies in The Mighty Ducks. His rise to fame came through working on the show Empire, where he played the part of Jamal Lyon. He was one of the critical characters in the show, and that's where he was famous for until back in 2019, when he became famous for other things. The Empire actor was accused of falsely reporting that he was the victim of a hate crime that took place in January of 2019. This was during the height of the political season, and some people have alleged there were political motivations behind it. Mr. Smollett was charged with 6 different charges of disorderly conduct, which was essentially a charge for lying to the police. These are class 4 felonies in Illinois, and each one could result in up to 3 years of prison time for each offense. So the possibility was basically 18 years in prison. Mr. Smollett has contested and pleaded his innocence the entire time and said this is not accurate. There was a full trial that took place back in December of 2021. Mr. Smollett had testified that he was attacked by 2 masked men while walking home around 2 a.m. The actor said that the 2 men beat him, shouted racist and homophobic comments, poured a chemical on him, looped a rope around his neck, and fled. Ultimately, during the investigation of this, 2 brothers, Ola and Abel Osundario, were arrested in February of 2019 for being connected to the attack and being the perpetrators. The brothers Osundarios told the police this was all orchestrated by Mr. Smollett, and that basically he had wrote them a check for $3,500 to do the attack. They said that he had planned it, wanted it done in the location that was near a surveillance camera, so it would be on film because he planned to use it during social media as well. Mr. Smollett contested that he had anything to do with this and that he had planned it out. He said the $3,500 check was for workout plans and meal plans to the 2 brothers so he could get in better shape. He also said that the 2 brothers made up the story about the attack being staged and said that they wouldn't testify against him for $1 million apiece. This whole incident was investigated by Special Prosecutor Dan Webb. When he was prosecuting the case, he said Mr. Smollett's actions caused the Chicago PD to spend enormous resources and time and energy investigating the crime that they believe was faked. This went to a full jury of 6 women and 6 men, and the trial took place over a week. At the close of the trial, the jury deliberated for about 9 to 10 hours over 2 different days, and ultimately they came back and found him guilty of 5 of the 6 charges. At that point, the case stayed there until just recently, last week, when after 3 years of this whole thing, the judge, James Lane, issued his sentencing ruling on the case. He said that due to the incident's extreme premeditation, basically that Mr. Smollett planned it all out in advance down to the details, that was an aggravating factor. So he was going to increase the punishment he would normally give. He also said, or he was upset by the fact that it appeared to be rehearsed as well. He sentenced Mr. Smollett to 150 days in jail and ordered him to pay restitution in the amount of $120,000 to the police or the city of Chicago, and a $25,000 fine for making false reports to the police. He also then went on to lecture Mr. Smollett, basically saying, you turned your life down, you destroyed your life, as you know, there's nothing I can do today that will come close to the damage you've done to your own life. And he believed Mr. Smollett craved attention and faked the crime to make himself more famous. Mr. Smollett continues to maintain his innocence. He also announced that he was concerned he would be killed in jail, and he repeatedly said that he was not suicidal, so if anything happened, somebody else did it. And that's our Celebrity Crime Report on Mr. Smollett. Tell us how you feel below. Weigh in on this for us. Thanks. I'm Shane Smith from Shanesmithlaw. This is our Celebrity Crime Report.
98099999999. 98099999999. Shanesmithlaw.